Some people tap their feet, some people snap their fingers, and some people just sway back and forth. I just sort of do them all together, I guess.
And now here is Elvis Presley.
I got news for you, baby.
So excited, I can't wait.
I think Presley was a star.
Well, heard the news.
Oh, he's such a sexy person. He will always be the king no matter what.
Hello everybody! In this news video you can expect the replica suits of Elvis, a very expensive wristwatch, chart positions, Blu-ray discs, a trivia question and your photos. My name is Maier and you are watching the Elvis Presley News Report of August 2022. The total proceeds of the Elvis movie is far from known because the movie is still running. That is why I am currently giving the standings 4 weeks after the premiere weekend. The worldwide revenue is now $119 million, and these are the 5 countries in which the film ranks best. USA, 110 million. The United Kingdom, 19 million. Australia, 14 million, and France 6.5 and Germany $3.6 million. These are really impressive numbers considering the Elvis movie doesn't have any fighter jets, dinosaurs or action heroes. As I predicted in last month's video that it was only a matter of time, but now the Elvis Presley channel is accessible as a free ad-supported streaming television channel in the USA. Exciting news as Graceland updated their Elvis Week schedule and added a Sony listening party on August 14. It is being described as learn about the upcoming Elvis on Tour release in this special panel, where Ernst Jurgensen will unbox this exciting new CD box set and gives the audience a detailed preview of the unreleased music included in it. Australian actor Jaden Jay, who portrayed young Elvis in the movie, visited, besides Tupelo, also Graceland in Memphis.
A miniature Elvis making his way to Graceland today. Jaden Jay, who played young Elvis in the movie, got a chance to tour Graceland. The 16-year-old actor is from Gold Coast, Australia, and began his career just 2 years ago. Believe it or not, portraying a young Elvis Presley is his first major role and only role.
Being here right now and experiencing this and going through and having a real connection to everything that was so important to Elvis in his life, and to be able to visit that and take it all in has been just so electrical and just so amazing. So it's been heaps of fun.
Jay isn't only featured in a few scenes or has just a few lines. The actor is featured in some of the most impactful scenes in the movie. You can catch Elvis the movie right now on all platforms.
I was very happy to see participation of my viewers because I received photos and a video which I like to share with you. In my previous video I asked for photos that show outdoor promotion for the Elvis movie. This is what I received from Dutch Reverend Fred Omvlee, who was in Paris, France.
Elvis op de bus in Parijs. Niet op één bus, maar op alle bussen.
I also received photos from Steve Badger in England. The cars parked in front of this billboard in Sheffield gives a good idea of the scale of the movie poster. On many of the famous red buses Elvis can be seen, like here outside King's Cross railway station in London. And finally, Elvis can also be seen at Leicester Square, where Elvis fans Juliet and Gaynor were having their picture taken with some London bobbies. I also received a very cool photo from Carlos Varenti, all the way from Argentina. Thanks and good luck, Carlos, with the sale of your book, The Airplanes and the King. I also received a bunch of very interesting photos from Scott Jenkins, who went to the Elvis exhibition at the Bendigo Art Gallery in Victoria, Australia. From March 29 to July 17, the art gallery received 219,000 visitors who came to watch the Elvis items. Now all the artifacts are on their way back to Graceland for display. Looking at the comments, I found some real interesting remarks and observations about the movie. About 99.8% of the people who gave a reaction to the Elvis movie were very positive. That is, in my view, remarkable, as Elvis fans have become very critical when it comes to the portrayal of Elvis. But the movie does Elvis justice, and Austin Butler deserves the credit for making Elvis look human instead of a cliché image. Many of my viewers went back to the cinema for a second viewing. Some people even went further by visiting the cinema for a third, fourth or even a fifth viewing.
A Southern Indiana family makes a living by making clothes fit for a king. Their reputation put them right in the middle of a summer blockbuster. A building that looks like this in small-town Indiana probably seems about as far away from Hollywood as it gets. But the glitz and the spotlight have always been just a ring away.
I answered most of the phone calls.
It was a woman who said,
I'd like to come and see you. I'll be in the area tomorrow. Can I come by your shop and visit you?
Catherine Martin.
She was an Academy Award-winning costume designer who, like Kim, also happened to be working with her husband, the director of the summer blockbuster
3 for Elvis.
that just hit theaters. Elvis.
Elvis Presley.
Only fools rush in, and Kim remembers the designer was anything but.
This is what specifically I would like to make sure, that this looks like this and this looks like this, and can you do this?
Next thing you know, we're doing business with them.
We did all the jumpsuits in the movie.
34 altogether, 10 that made the cut.
We did one black leather suit, and then we did 2 sundial suits.
I'm all shook up.
When the Polstons walked into the theater and saw their creations on the big screen, they weren't exactly all shook up. More like
Touched and proud.
We get a big rush out of it.
Well, let's shake, rattle, and roll.
is Southern Indiana business playing a big role in longtime Elvis fans feeling like they're shake, rattle, and rolling all over again. In Charlestown, Chris Suter, WDRB News.
You will hear Catherine Martin's story about the leather suit later in this video. In the same week that the digital Elvis soundtrack enters the Billboard 200 album chart at number 26, the 2002 compilation CD 30 #1 hits returns to the top 40 on the Billboard 200 album charts for the first time in 19 years. Look, it was at 103 and a week later it jumps to number 33. The American Billboard website features various charts and one of them is the soundtrack chart. It is here where Elvis scores a #1 position in the week of July 9. These high positions were only achieved in the first week of release. In Australia, the digital download soundtrack entered the area charts at number 22. Like I said, these rankings concern the digital soundtrack. The physical soundtrack CD will be released on July 29. The soundtrack will also have a vinyl release.
It was 1977 when Elvis performed that final concert just down the street at the old Market Square Arena in front of 18,000 fans. And now there's a memorial plaque on the grounds at Market in Alabama. And then And guys, I also got to talk to one of the officials over at the Indiana Historical Bureau. His name is Justin Clark. And I asked him, I said, well, how else is the city hoping to kind of remember his legacy so far? And he says that right now they are actually gauging interest to make this official, one of those official state historical markers. Those big signs that you see. So they say maybe that's the next step.
On June 25th, this 4-carat gold-filled Lord Elgin wristwatch with black face was being sold by auction house Henry Aldrich in Wiltshire, England. Elvis owned and wore this watch from the spring of 1955 to April 1956. Elvis can be seen wearing this watch on stage during his first national television appearance at the Dorsey shows in New York. Elvis gave this watch to Scotty Moore while sitting poolside at the New Frontier Hotel in Las Vegas on April 25, 1956. The estimation was between 100 and 120,000 British pounds, but it was sold for 240,000 British pounds. The UK-based HMV label announced the release of a 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray disc of the Elvis movie. It is housed in a steel box. This same 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray is, together with a regular Blu-ray disc, due for release in Germany on September 22nd. It looks like this 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray format is becoming the new standard, as movie company Paramount Pictures has announced the release of Blue Hawaii in 4K Ultra HD later in 2022. Harry Carrigan is on a mission to write 3 books regarding collecting Elvis memorabilia from 1956 to 1977 in the United Kingdom. In 2021, his first volume detailed all the known film memorabilia. Now his second volume is announced for a release in August 2022. This 366 pages hardcover book has over 1,500 images and looks at various memorabilia. The third volume is due to print in 2023 and predominantly looks at newspapers, comics, magazines and books. Hello everybody, the answer to last month's trivia question was the song Hound Dog. Now, this new trivia question is only for my American viewers. I read a letter in this Elvis magazine that inspired me to use a question that was raised in it. To tell you the truth, I don't know the answer to this question, but I am real curious about what it possibly can be. Now, Elvis sings in the song All Shook Up the line,
I'm itching like a man on a fuzzy tree.
Now, I do know what a fuzzy bear is. Hi-ya, hi-ya, hi-ya! But what on earth is a fuzzy tree? Place your answer in the comments below. Goodbye. As promised, I am going to show you a clip of Catherine Martin, who was responsible for the costumes in the Elvis movie. The clip is much longer, but I am showing you the part where she goes into detailing the work that went into the leather suit that was used for making the 68 Comeback Special segment of the movie.
There are moments when you're recreating historical costumes. We had an aha moment when we started working on the black leather costume and appears in the 68 special. If you just imitated it slavishly without taking into consideration what Austin was bringing, he was never going to become Elvis per se. So we needed to find a way of making the historical costumes really work with him. And Baz was always talking about it's not imitation, it's interpretation. So the fabulous archivists at Graceland measured the suit for us. We knew the width of the cuffs, we knew how long the jacket was, but Through the process of fittings and experimentation, we came to see that we needed to adjust all of these details subtly to make sure they were fitting Austin. His movement and his characterisation was supported rather than swamped by the pressure of having to make something exactly like Elvis wore. Things like the collar height. If you look at Elvis, his collar hit him at a certain point and hit an exact angle. And so we needed to get that feeling on Austin. But obviously everybody's neck length is different. So it was really about thinking, okay, Austin is Elvis. This is the suit we want to put on him. How do we make that feel germane to him? And also there were practical considerations. So we needed different pants for each particular movement style. So when he was throwing himself on the ground, the pants needed to be altered because we needed to fit knee pads under the pants. When he was sitting down, I hate it when you can see people's socks in the top of the boots. So we made the pants longer for sitting down. Butt hugging pants for when we see him from the back, walking down the corridor. We also wanted pristine pants for when he's standing up. Similarly, with the jackets, the jacket ended up having all these pieces of elastic that rigged it to the pants. In reality, Elvis's jacket did ride up with wear. You did see the top of his boots. But I suppose we wanted ideal perfection to the moment because that's how people remember it. I think we worked on 3 leather versions in different weights of leather because originally his suit was made out of horse leather and it was a very heavy leather. The first suit we made, Baz was concerned the leather wasn't heavy enough. So we went up a level in thickness and heaviness, and then we weren't sure, maybe that was too heavy and was too constrictive in terms of the movement. So then we went somewhere between the two, and then we had to make multiples. You always have to take into consideration the practicalities of a costume that's going to be used over and over and over again. There's a saying in costuming which is one is none. So you're not supposed to only be able to make one of anything. Multiples are incredibly important.
That's all for this month. Hope to see you next time. Until then, have a happy Elvis Presley Day.
You have a happy